You want a better life. I know you do. You want to wake up feeling like you are moving towards something. You want to feel respected. You want to feel free. You want to feel that the work you are doing means something. You want health and peace. And maybe a version of yourself that you are actually proud of. I know this. Because every person does. But here is the thing no one wants to say out loud. You want the life. You just do not want what it costs. Most people spend their entire lives chasing a destination they are not willing to pay for. They want the body, but not the discipline of the early mornings. They want the career, but not the years of unglamorous, thankless effort. They want the relationship built on depth and trust, but not the discomfort of honest conversation and emotional work. They want the peace of mind, but not the pain of confronting the thoughts they have been running from. And so they drift, not because they are lazy, not because they are broken, but because no one ever sat them down and told them the truth. The life you want demands pain, not punishment, not suffering for the sake of suffering, but the specific, purposeful, unavoidable discomfort that every meaningful goal carries inside it. This is not a warning. This is not meant to discourage you. This is simply the truth, and you deserve to hear it clearly. Think about what you actually want. Not the vague feeling of wanting things to be better. Think specifically. The discipline to wake up before the world does. The body that moves without pain, that carries you with confidence. The skill that took 10,000 hours to build. The career that opens doors. The financial stability that removes the weight of constant worry. The kind of calm that comes from knowing who you are and what you stand for. Each one of those things has a price tag. And that price tag is discomfort. Not once. Not occasionally. Repeatedly. Consistently. Sometimes quietly, and sometimes loudly, but always present. Let me describe the forms this pain takes, because it is important to name it. When you can name something, you can face it. When you cannot name it, it controls you. The first form is the pain of discipline. This is the discomfort of doing the thing when you do not feel like doing it, when your body is tired. When motivation has completely left the building. When the bed is warm and the morning is cold. When the task is difficult and the distraction is easy. Discipline is not the absence of that feeling. Discipline is the decision to move anyway, and that decision hurts every single time. Until one day, slowly, it does not hurt as much. But it will never stop requiring something from you. The second form is the pain of sacrifice. Every time you choose what you want most over what you want right now, something is lost. You will miss evenings. You will miss gatherings. You will miss hours of comfort and convenience. People around you will move at their own pace, and that is fine. But the one who is building something is always giving something up. Always. And that sacrifice feels real. It is not imaginary. You will feel it in the quiet moments when everyone else seems to be relaxing. The third form is the pain of rejection and failure. You will try things and they will not work. You will build things and they will fall. You will reach out and be ignored. You will apply and be turned away. You will speak and not be heard. This is not evidence that you are wrong. This is evidence that you are in the arena. Rejection and failure are not signs that you have taken the wrong path. They are signs that you are on any path at all. The person who has never failed has never truly tried. The fourth form is the pain of the long wait. This may be the hardest of all. It is the pain of putting in genuine effort and seeing nothing. Weeks pass. Months pass. The results are not visible. The progress feels invisible. Your investment of time and energy does not yet appear to be paying off. And the world around you offers 100 easier options, 100 faster gratifications, 100 shortcuts that lead nowhere but feel good immediately. The long wait tests something deep inside you. It tests whether you actually believe in what you are doing. And most people quit here. Not because they were incapable, but because they could not tolerate the silence before the reward. The fifth form is the pain of emotional discomfort. The discomfort of confronting your own patterns, of looking at the ways you have held yourself back, of admitting that some of the walls you live behind you built yourself, of having the conversations you have been avoiding, of letting go of identities that felt safe but kept you small. Growing as a person is not a pleasant, smooth process. It is disorienting. It can feel like loss even when it is gain. None of this is punishment. Hear me clearly. Pain in the context of growth is not the universe telling you that you are on the wrong road. It is the universe confirming that you are on the right one. Pain is the price, and prices are not punishments. They are simply what things cost. If you want something that is worth having, you will pay for it with discomfort. That is not cruelty. That is how reality works. And accepting that changes everything. I want you to be honest with yourself for a moment. Not harsh, not unkind, just honest. How often do you choose the comfortable option? How often does the difficult conversation get postponed? How often does the workout get skipped because the timing was not perfect? How often does the important work get pushed aside in favor of something easier, something more entertaining, something that feels like rest but is actually just avoidance? I am not asking you to feel shame about this. Shame is not useful here. I am asking you to see it clearly, because here is what is also true. Every time you avoid the discomfort, you delay the life. Not by a little, not by a manageable amount. You delay it significantly, because the compounding works in both directions. Consistent effort builds compounding progress, but consistent avoidance builds compounding stagnation, and stagnation has its own kind of pain. A slow, dull, persistent pain. The pain of watching years pass without the feeling that you have become what you were capable of becoming. That pain is real too, and it is the pain that serves nothing. So, let me speak now about what it looks like to move forward. Not perfectly, not dramatically, just genuinely. You begin by choosing discipline over comfort in the small moments. Not in the grand cinematic moments you imagine when you think about transformation. In the small ones. The morning you do not want to get up. The meal that takes effort to prepare. The task you open even when focus is difficult. The book you read instead of the screen you scroll. These small choices are not small. They are the building material of the person you are becoming. You build habits rather than relying on motivation. Motivation is a feeling. Feelings are weather. They come and go and cannot be trusted as a foundation. But habits are infrastructure. They are systems. They do not require you to feel inspired. They require only that you show up. And showing up, repeatedly, without fanfare, without recognition, without immediate reward, is the actual work. You stay consistent when consistency feels pointless. This is where most people stop, when the results are not visible, when the effort feels disproportionate to the outcome, when someone else seems to be progressing faster with less apparent effort. You stay anyway, because you understand something that the person who quit did not. Progress is not always visible before it is real. The tree does not show you its roots, but the roots are what make the tree possible. You develop mental toughness, not aggression, not hardness toward others, but an inner steadiness. The ability to face difficulty without dramatizing it. The ability to be uncomfortable without being overwhelmed. The ability to hear the voice that says this is too hard and reply quietly, without arrogance, I know. And I will continue anyway. And you anchor yourself to the long-term reward. Not the dopamine of the immediate, not the approval of the moment, but the deep, unhurried satisfaction of becoming the version of yourself that your current self is only beginning to imagine. That version exists, and every day of genuine effort is a day you move closer to it. Let me show you two people. They are not dramatic characters. They are not heroes or villains. They are ordinary people, like you, like me. The first person encounters discomfort and retreats. Not dramatically, quietly. They postpone the difficult thing. They choose the easier path. They tell themselves they will start when conditions are better, when they feel more ready, when life settles, and conditions never become perfect, and readiness never arrives on its own, and life never fully settles. And so this person waits. For years, and the waiting becomes the life, and one day they look up and realize that nothing has moved except time. The second person encounters the same discomfort, and they are not fearless. Do not imagine that they feel nothing. They feel the same reluctance, the same tiredness, the same pull toward the easier option, but they make a different choice. They accept the discomfort as part of the process. They do the thing anyway. They build the habit anyway. They stay consistent anyway, and the results do not arrive quickly. They arrive slowly, then suddenly. And over time, this person looks up and does not recognize the distance they have traveled. Because they were not looking for the destination. They were focused only on the next step. These two people are not determined by talent. They are not separated by opportunity. They are separated only by their relationship with pain. And long-term thinking is, perhaps, the rarest and most valuable orientation a person can develop in a world designed to sell you the immediate. To pull your attention toward the quick, the easy, the satisfying right now. Long-term thinking is a quiet rebellion. It says, I am not building for today. I am building for the version of my life that has not yet arrived. And I will make decisions now that serve that version even when they cost me something in this moment. Pain is not the enemy. Avoidance is. Pain is not something to fear. It is something to move through. The person who fears pain and therefore avoids it is not safer. They are simply stuck at the cost, unable to access what the cost leads to. And they carry that stagnation in their body, in their mood, in the quiet frustration that something is wrong but cannot be named. The person who accepts the pain as part of the process is not reckless. They are not a masochist. They are simply clear. They see the price. They see what the price buys. And they decide that what it buys is worth more than the comfort of avoiding it. That clarity is freedom. Real freedom. Not the freedom of having no responsibilities, but the freedom of knowing that your life is being shaped by your choices and not by your fears. I will leave you with this. The moment you accept the cost of the life you want is the moment you begin to actually move toward it. Not when you feel ready, not when you feel fearless, not when all conditions align. But the moment you look at the discomfort and say, I see you, I understand what you are, and I am going through you. That moment is yours to choose. It always has been. There is a version of your life waiting on the other side of the pain you have been avoiding. It is not a perfect life. It is not a painless life. But it is a life you built, a life you earned, a life that is genuinely yours. The question is not whether you can handle the discomfort. The question is whether you will decide to. That decision begins now, not tomorrow, not when the circumstances improve. Now, in this moment, with the next small choice you make, the life you want is waiting, and it has been waiting long enough. If this reached you, leave a comment. I accept the pain.